Let's get into it, man. First of all, loners, subscribe to join the club. We got some all-time yappers in the Dokkan community. I thought it'd be fun to take advantage of their expertise by consolidating their feelings and putting together a tier list based on the averages between all these units. Gonna lay out some ground rules. First of all, if a character does not appear in at least 2 out of the 3 lists, they will not be counted. There needs to be a solid 10. And if one person, Vector, happens to have, I don't know, the Broly trio somewhere in this list, but the other 2 don't, well, that means the Broly trio aren't getting in, ain't it? So we're going to put together a list here. We're going to see what is the definitive Dokkan LR tier list. This is the tier list based on our 3 main characters of the Dokkan community: the Truth Senior, the Truth Junior, Minato's Flash, and of course their arch nemesis Vector. We'll be using a rating system of top to bottom. That means if you are number 1, you get 10 points. If you are number 10, you get 1 point. The character with the highest point average by the end is our GOAT. And we'll see how the rest fall in line, right? So starting off, is this any surprise to anyone? Beast Gohan at number 1. Beast Gohan at number 1. And Beast Gohan at number 1. That stacks out to be our first here. We got Evo Jita at 2. Evo Jita at 2. And would you guess it? Would you honestly guess it? Evo Jita at 2. Not bad. Coming in on our first bit of dissension, we've got UI Goku at 3, getting him 7 points. UI Goku at 3, getting him 7. And then here we go. Our boy Gogeta manages to slip in and steal a point. Gogeta at 4. Gogeta at 4. And UI Goku at 4. This is where we start to get interesting here. Coming right here. So as of recording this, Truth released his tier list that is updated because he was ranking every unit until he got to Topo. What that means is that some of these spots have been moved around. Primarily, this Super Vegito placement is not what it should be anymore. He instead put Super Vegito at 10 on the dot. Super Vegito is gaining 1 point for Truth's side. Disregard this. In Minato's case, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. He gains himself 5 points at placement 6. And for Vector, we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Skipping over the TUR, 4. For a grand total of 154. Not looking good for our boy Easy 8 Vegito. Gammas are up next, of course. As of, again, recording this, the Gammas have moved for Truth. They have moved to 8, where previously there were 9. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. They grab themselves 6 points for Minitos. And Vector is coming in at 5th place for the Gammas. 466 being that rating. Buhan, again, as of recording, Truth has moved Buhan up to 7th place instead of his 8th place over the fusing Goku and Vegeta. Minitos has them at 6th place. And Vector has Buhan way in the back, even pulling up behind Evoken. Okay. You see Buhan 5, 3, 1. Let's rank the Broly, of course. Broly is contentious, it feels like. I feel like Broly is... Is Broly underrated? Is that weird to say? Is Broly exactly where he needs to be placed? Was he underrated? Is he being overrated at times? I don't know. Maybe the fact that both are arguing for both sides means that he's perfectly where he needs to be. But as of that tier list update from Truth, Broly is now at... Let's see, skipping Vegeta, should be at around 5. Should be around 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for Minato. 6 for Vector. Yes, this looks correct. I did this all beforehand. Add a little pomp and circumstance, but we'll see what we get into. Orange Piccolo. Again, Orange Piccolo has fallen in Truth's list to, I believe, around 8 as of recording this. 9 for Minato. And way in the back, I discount the trio and I discount the TUR, grabbing Orange Piccolo, his last placement here. 3, 2, 1. Isn't that beautiful? And then Evo Kid, of course, bringing up the flank for most lists, even on Truth's updated one. Minato with the same, and Vector with a slightly better score of 2. So you might be thinking, like, where are we? What does this all mean? Well, thankfully, I prepared this beforehand. If any of this math seems wrong or off, if I verbally said anything that was wrong, know that I did this beforehand, so don't worry about it too much. Boom. Starting off with the king of the game, the undisputed number 1. He is the only character to receive a perfect score. It is Beast Gohan. The Yapper Council has come to an agreement. They have decided that this man does, in fact, basketball palm the game, but maybe not as badly as some people thought, because Vegeta is bringing in the rear right behind him. 3 points off, much higher than the gaps thereafter outside of this Gamma and Gogeta fall off. Vegeta seems to be pulling up the rear in a big way. Might be a character you could consider grabbing with coins now that you see this. Definitely a formidable character and will most likely be aging really well for a while. UI Goku with his flaws shows why consistency is king, and in this case, while still having a great score, still shakier than the previous level of character. Gogeta slots right in with his ridiculous ability. I heard someone say in the recent True stream that if Gogeta didn't have his active, he wouldn't be as high as he would. Duh. If a character doesn't have the thing that defines them, they wouldn't be as good. Yeah, I fucking bet, dude. Gamma's taking a big hit down at number 5. But like with the other anniversary characters, keeping within close proximity of one another. There's been a lot of talk about whether Broly is better or if the Gammas are underrated because they're being considered worse than Topo, blah, blah, blah. I do think that Broly edges this character out in the long run, but we'll have to see how his team develops. I think we've seen a lot of Super Bosses additions that are going to make this character rise and rise and rise as domains are reworked in August and Kefla hits JP. Since I paired these two off, moving on to Vegito. This Easy A was probably a bit overcooked. People thought it was a little bit better than it was. I feel like it's definitely slipped in a lot of esteem. These point averages are super low with no dissension elsewhere, but it also shows how strong the 9th anniversary characters truly are. His companion, Buhan, looks amazing, if I'm honest, but this doesn't tell the whole tale. I'd imagine if Minato and Vector updated their list today, this could easily swap. Orange Piccolo is probably where he is. Good, but sort of hard to fit him in on his own team. Definitely a piece that if you have him in your box, you're better for it, but can get caught much more than he's ever had. And the Evo Ken duo bringing up the rear are without a doubt the perfect damage and support or orb changing unit. Just so fun to play with and not really a fault on a team, but as you can see above, with the majority of the list made of superheroes, it's sort of hard to fit them in. And yeah, with that said, that is the Truth, Minato, and Vector, the Yappo Trinity. That is their list. Looks pretty good. It turns out we don't argue as much as we think. And maybe tier list culture needs to die. Peace.